I love apples, so many kinds.
In all the world, no other place carries the same level of immensely pristine beauty. Its barren, frozen tundras are abundant with vibrant wildlife. Life in all wonderful forms thrives amongst its delicate snow and vivid blue waterscapes. Graceful caribou, musk ox, and polar bear stomp quietly through the frigid land, while elegant walrus, seals, and whales dance beautifully below the icy depths of the water. Welcome to the Canadian Arctic. Beneath the beating sun of the Arctic, amid the glory of the beautiful animals that scatter its chilly landscape, the Inuit people rely on the abundance of wildlife for countless facets of their daily life. The presence of animals in the Arctic not only represents physical importance, but spiritual as well. The Inuit rely on the Arctic's wildlife for shelter, clothing, and tools, but most importantly, for food. In their society, the Inuit have established a wonderful symbiotic relationship with the animals in their environment. Traditionally, the Inuit people have relied completely on country foods, a tantalizing blend of foods recognized as wild animals or species from their local environment. The Inuit are most graciously provided with these foods, consisting of mainly proteins and fats, coming from the locally hunted animals such as walrus, seals, whales, and various other meats. One of the main reasons why they are able to live off their unusual diet is their prime utilization of the process of gluconeogenesis, by which the body turns fats and proteins into usable glucose. In addition, the Inuit have massive livers and produce a significantly larger volume of urine than the average human. The food they consume is rich in healthy omega-3 fatty acids, vitamin A, several vitamin Bs, and iron. Their unique diet allows the Inuit people to flourish and live lives without the burden of diabetes, cancer, heart attack, or strokes. Although these country foods have allowed them to survive in their environment for so long, pollutants and chemicals have begun to infiltrate their pleasant society and taint their already limited food supply. The main focus of all Inuit people is, will they ever be able to eat their culturally valuable food again?
So here's a field. To keep away bugs and grow crops efficiently, farmers use pesticides on their crops. Pesticides are good, right? Wrong. So the crops grow just fine. But when the wind blows, it carries along pesticides such as DDT, PCB, and persistent organic pollutants. These pesticides are carried for thousands of miles up north. These pesticides then fall back to the ground, but this time on Inuit land. This is known as the grasshopper effect. These pesticides contaminate the water, snow, and therefore contaminate the plants and animals. When the water is contaminated, planktons get contaminated with pesticides. Then small fish eat the plankton and therefore get contaminated as well. Big fish then eat the contaminated small fish, and whales eat plankton. and the toxins transfer from one organism to another. This transfer and contamination from one organism to the next is called biomagnification. The toxins move similarly throughout the food chain until it infects the Inuit people. Come in.
Hey, how are you doing today?
I'm good. How are you, doctor?
I'm good. Are you feeling any better?
A little bit.
Okay, so I'm just gonna need to check your throat really quickly. I want you to stick your tongue out and say ah. Okay, looks like the results were right. So, your blood tests came back from the lab, and they appear to convey high concentrations of chemicals such as mercury and a myriad of other dangerous toxins. According to the research my peers and I have conducted, this contamination is due to the food consumption that you've been having. It's terrible. And honestly, I really believe that the only way to solve this is to cut out abundant foods, traditional foods, and any foods that you have access to. In order to mend your health, you should eliminate all foods from your long-established diet and eat overpriced foods from inaccessible locations. You must never eat meat again.
What? What do you mean? This cannot be true. I've been eating meat since I was born. What about the cheeseburgers?
No.
What about the steaks?
No.
What am I supposed to do
No.
then?
They're harmful. They're not good for you. I'm so sorry to tell you this, but you can only eat food products that are monitored and tested by the FDA.
This is horrible.
The school store offers a variety of those foods.
I can't afford it.
This is the only way.
Hello, Dr. Pelosi. I've been observing Inuit diet for the past 6 months, and they are an incredible people. They have massive hunting traditions, big game, and their diet has been reduced to junk food. And it's really sad to see. And I've watched the transformation. It has to do with toxins in their food. And if we look here, I mean, they're buying their food in stores like the rest of us. Take a look at, for example, these Cheetos here, 150 calories, 90 of which are from fat, and it's all processed. There is nothing natural about it like it used to be.
Can I get these today?
Yes. That'll be $25.
Oh God, I hope this is enough to feed my family.
These are some of the solutions that we have to solve this problem.
Since the contamination is very high in the Arctic, governments of several countries took the initiative to reduce the presence of chemicals in the environment. The Stockholm Convention was brought into effect in 2004 to protect the environment from harmful chemicals by reducing the use of persistent organic pollutants. The Commission for Environmental Cooperation was also established by the Canadian government in cooperation with the United States and Mexico. Additionally, the Canadian Northern Contaminants Program helps reduce and eliminate toxins from the environment. The USA and Canada also signed the Great Lakes Water Quality Agreement to start cleaning the Great Lakes. Several more agreements and laws were passed and are still being passed to ensure the reduction of chemicals in the Arctic.
Hello, I am the Economic Advisor to the Prime Minister of Canada, and I'm here to comment on possible economic solutions to the Inuit problem. As we know, the Inuit are very, very poor Indigenous people, more poor than most. And it is true that the Canadian central government has addressed the issue of Inuit food insecurity. But it's simply not enough. There needs to be more to be done. And the best way to improve the economic situation of any people is to create jobs for them. And the way you do that is by developing infrastructure in their area. So it's the most important thing is that the Canadian government needs to be developing towns and cities in northern Canada where the Inuit live to create more jobs.
Hello, my name is Asher Zelson. I'm on the board of the Canadian Food and Drug Administration, and we on the CFDA are responsible for establishing standards for the safety and nutritional quality of all foods in Canada. We rely on extensive scientific research for all of our work, and through the considerable amount of information we have gathered regarding the contamination of the Inuit food supply, we believe that in order to prevent further issues and diseases from permeating the Inuit society, the Inuit should replace their consumption of country foods, decreasing their exposure to contaminants. We at the CFDA understand that this change will be tough for the Inuit, but we believe that it is necessary to restore the previous health of the culture.
In order to find a quick resolution for the Inuit people's diet and find
a long-term resolution for the grasshopper effect, two initiatives need to be taken. So, one, governing bodies should take into consideration the placement of more markets which provide more food similar to Inuit country food. So, lots of red meats, high in protein, high in fat, and these markets should be less expensive and more accessible, because as important as country food is to Inuit culture, it's most important to preserve the Inuit people themselves. The second thing is that agricultural regions south of the Arctic should take into consideration the effects of the pesticides used, and should also take into consideration the possible use of IPM, so an integrated pest management system. And basically what that means is that growers can release ladybugs onto their crops in order to feed off of pests, or they can plant other crops that attract birds, so those birds could be natural predators towards the larger animals. They can also plant allelopaths. Growers and farmers in general need to place human life above economic prosperity and realize that the pollution caused from these pesticides not only kills wildlife but culture as well. While the process may be difficult and it may take a very long time to find a solution, it is very important to help find a resolution to the issue that the Inuits are facing.
The Inuit people are gradually being deprived from their culturally valuable food, and the increase in the levels of toxins in the Arctic have made it dangerous for them to consume the meat of wild animals.
As the health of the Inuit people are dwindling and their food sources become more scarce, they're desperate for answers. The toxins in their meat is causing them to abandon their culture and move towards food at the grocery stores.
It is the responsibility of the government, industrial companies, and the people to diminish the spread of contaminants in the Arctic. The Arctic must be saved. No human being should be deprived of their culture, and no person should be deprived of healthy food sources.